Hello and welcome back to CoinLady channel. The Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase raised an important point, one that is clearly significant to us here in the XRP community. But there was one element that concerned me and, I believe, most of those who were listening. Attorney John Deaton had asked him a question, and he simply sidestepped it. He completely sidestepped the question. So, I'll tell you what I think about it, and then I'll summarize what he actually stated. The Crypto Basics article mentions it, but there is something I need to clarify before we go any further. I come from no financial or legal background. Do not buy or sell anything based on anything I say or write. I'm not a licensed attorney or financial advisor. I'm just a fan that occasionally posts films to YouTube regarding crypto-related subjects for pleasure and as a pastime. And I do want to make it perfectly clear right off the bat that I'm merely providing comments on this as is my want on this channel. I provide services, disseminate information, and provide analysis on current events because I enjoy engaging in such discourse. Although I'm expressing criticism here, it is the only criticism I can think of at the moment that merits discussion. Because, the crucial thing to remember here is that if you listen to this interview, which again lasted for, I think, over 45 minutes, it was amazing, even though I'm going to stress this issue. It was a great show of solidarity between Coinbase's Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal and the rest of the XRP community, and it seems likely that Grewal's sentiments are shared by his fellow Coinbase executives. John Deaton, in my opinion, is a teammate of Paul Grewal. Yes, I'm on the same side. The idea is that we need to strike back against the SEC, and I suspect that most of you listening are on the same team. The point is just that. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or an investor, we're all being targeted. Pick it if you work in crypto, you know that people like Kim Jong-un pose a significant threat to your operations. Given the context, I certainly didn't anticipate having to go to bat for Paul Grewal in this interview. It's safe to assume that John Deaton did not engage in such a peculiar behavior. He probed Paul Grewal with questions that might have put him on the spot. John Deaton, an attorney, asked him a respectful question. And then there's this one time he completely sidestepped the issue. And it was about, okay, so you delisted XRP after the SEC sued Ripple, but why is it that you didn't delist, say, Algorand when the SEC claimed that Algorand and many other cryptocurrencies are securities? I'll get to some of the because this article did kind of quote the specifics, but I'll just tell you at the outset, he absolutely did not answer the question. That was the only issue I had with it. But the rest of what he said was true. After all, he did say, hey, yes, we're very serious about of course, though I'm paraphrasing, obviously, Ripple is serious about relisting XRP on the exchange once the SEC makes its final decision. That's good for them, in my opinion, as I believe they would prefer to carry it out. I believe that the potential risk of their IPO not happening was a major factor in their decision to delist it in the first place. Therefore, I appreciate their predicament. I'm not even mad that Coinbase removed XRP off its platform. To be crystal clear, I truly do, and it's totally fine if you disagree. In that light, I value your opinion. You're free to detest them for that reason if you so choose. However, it is not how I feel. They really were stuck in a jam. I feel bad for them. However, here's the catch. Since he refused to answer and completely sidestepped the subject, I'm trying to piece together why XRP was delisted. So, here I am, wondering why Coinbase delisted XRP but not the other coins. One of the reasons I mentioned just now is that XRP isn't worth risking an entire IPO for. And consider this. The IPO is scheduled for April of 2020. By not stopping trading or delisting XRP, you run the chance of the entire plan falling through in 2021. You're not going to take the chance of it happening, so you might as well not. Don't forget that getting IPO approval from the SEC was necessary. Now the SEC is going after seemingly every cryptocurrency, singling out Algorand and Dash as targets. I recently learned that 2 cryptocurrencies I own are considered securities by the SEC. But I wonder if that's why they didn't go after any developer working on top of those blockchains or their designers in those cases. The answer is no. They filed suit against a cryptocurrency exchange, likely Bittrex, on the grounds that its services constitute illegal investment advice. Is there, then, in the eyes of some who think XRP revolves around Ripple's cryptocurrency trading rather than simple transaction facilitation? Does that make things better? As a layperson with no training in law, I can tell you that I do not see a significant difference. I don't care who the SEC sues to prove their claim that XRP and Algorand are both securities if that's what they decide to do. There is no difference. Someone else can step in and fill in the blank from a legal standpoint if there is one I'm aware of. The fact that several organizations are being sued is something I'm aware of, but I haven't seen specifically stated. But even so, as a result, people are starting to refer to those coins as securities. That sums up the situation nicely. Then why is Coinbase such a problem? We can't say for sure, though, because we have nothing personal against Paul Grewal. Most of what he stated made sense to me. That rules out the possibility of an attack on his person. Since this is the one situation in which I find myself sitting there thinking, why couldn't you just answer? I thought I'd provide some comments. Not only do I feel this way, but I know I'm not alone. Some users on social media will say something like, "Oh, and John Deaton, by the way, he did respond to that because there was somebody that asked," and I'll pull that up at the end of the video, referring to the fact that John Deaton answered the question. When Paul Grewal avoided the question, "John Deaton, you didn't push back, did you?" I'll demonstrate what John Deaton said, but first allow me to follow this sequence. So, the rest of this piece goes like this. Oh, just give me the hook. The Chief Legal Officer of Coinbase addresses the community to explain why Algo was not delisted alongside XRP. The pleas for harmony are also something we can all get behind. Coinbase's Chief Legal Officer Paul Grewal recently discussed the exchange's choice to continue trading Algorand despite the US SEC's classification of the cryptocurrency as a security and Bitrex's subsequent legal troubles. Coinbase's decision to delist XRP for this reason while leaving Algo on its platform raises eyebrows. Attorney John Deaton asked Grewal these and other topics during a recent interview for a crypto law program. During the interview, Deaton brought up the fact that XRP supporters don't fully understand how Coinbase evaluates listing requests. Grewal has already shown that asset resale transactions do not fall under the definition of securities. In response, Deaton pointed out that Grewal's point about secondary sales is relevant to XRP as well. This is a direct quote from what Deaton later added. A ban was placed on XRP. The SEC has ruled that an algorithm is a security, and this has led to a case being brought against Bitrex. Of course, that isn't put on hold. Do you grasp why XRP holders feel punished negatively impacts their mood? No one is suggesting you remove or pause Algo, mind you. So, tell me, what do you think? Quote ends. Yeah. So, no, I'm not upset about it. I'm only pointing out the discrepancy. Well, that settles it. There's no need for me to be hostile. Perhaps they're doing this for quite reasonable commercial reasons, of which the general public is unaware. Perhaps we might even agree with it. Perhaps neither of us would. Since we have no idea what it is, I can't say. This hasn't been said, but I share your concern, and it's a valid one. I don't want the exchanges to stop trading any of these other coins. That doesn't reflect how I view Algo. As for me, I'm app ready. I am a proud holder of Algo, Dash, and a wide variety of other cryptos, as well as whatever else the SEC considers to be a security. I'd rather not risk Coinbase delisting it in haste. Neither you nor I, nor anybody else in the crypto community, will benefit from that. So, you're missing the point. Attorney Deaton's query is perfectly reasonable, and we're just attempting to figure out where the discrepancy arises. Again, I can't say that I blame Deaton for staying quiet. This is not a situation like that at all. The idea is to collaborate, not to hit a friend over the head for, say, avoiding an inquiry. As though we suddenly found ourselves in a new setting. It's like, no, we're actively working to strike back against the SEC by running against them. So, the story goes on. In answer to your question, Grewal said he feels for the XRP community's pain about the current state of affairs. I can appreciate where people are coming from and how it can seem like there is a double standard at play in a number of situations. So keep that in mind. Okay, why did you say that? Deaton was essentially wondering why the contradiction led to the delisting of XRP. And he said, "I get where it feels like there's a double standard that's been applied in a number of different situations." He gave no explanation. He's basically saying, yeah, I can understand why people feel like these assets are being treated completely differently. And then he doesn't even bother to offer an explanation as to why. As he continued talking, I was just waiting for him to stop because he was starting to go into this sort of word salad where he would start talking about unrelated topics before coming back together and trying to argue. All of that is correct, and I agree with you. You're welcome. While he was talking, however, I thought to myself, this is what politicians do. My first thought was, he won't answer the damn question, will he? Again, I have nothing personal against him. I'm just weighing in since these are the thoughts running through my head right now as I walk my pet annoyance around a nearby park. The weather is gorgeous today. So, I won't say that my vegetables were fully steamed in this method, but perhaps they were only partially steamed, rendering them somewhat par-cooked. Anyway, the article goes on. Grey Wolf also cited SEC head Gary Gensler in arguing that the law and conditions are always changing. Coinbase, he said, will apply the law and defend the rule of law for everyone, and that includes XRP holders. This, he says, is why Coinbase supported Ripple with an amicus brief last November. And here's what Grill had to say about it. The most important thing is that we are all playing on a team. We have to get some exercise and have some fun. We're fighting the world's most powerful enemy with infinite resources. The SEC is an agency of the United States government. And that's right. Complete agreement. That's why I don't think it's weird that other individuals have different opinions than mine. Everyone has the right to their own viewpoint. People who think John Deaton should have beaten Gruel over the head with a brick are missing the point, I guess. Whatever, to hell with the SEC. Don't worry about the person with the grey wall. This is fair. I really hoped he'd respond to it. I don't share the fervor of other people's opinions. A simple response would have been appreciated. He was reluctant to hand it over. Truth be told, even if Deaton had asked again, it's likely that he still wouldn't have answered. Since most people do this when they don't want to answer questions, he would have found a new strategy to avoid doing so. Of course, there are exceptions, but you know what I mean. Even though Grey Wolves just commented on why Coinbase has not delisted algo like it did with XRP, proponents have highlighted that they are still in the dark, as the author of this post notes at the end of the piece. According to the XRP community, Coinbase's CLO sidestepped the subject. That's the case, though, because it's true. Indeed, that is precisely what transpired. Here's where I'll start discussing the portion when Attorney Deaton was asked, "Why didn't you push back a little bit harder?" And I've already shared my opinion on the matter. In my opinion, Attorney Deaton performed an outstanding job. I still enjoy the occasional look, "We're on the same team here, Grey Wall." This is just me opening up and sharing some of my genuine ideas. That being said, allow me to offer a criticism. I disagree with it, but it doesn't make me angry or frustrated. It's just not to my taste. However, that's life. So this is the point where it entered the picture. And I need to quickly touch on something that was in the news a few days ago in order to adequately cover this. I also recently recorded a video about this topic. One Jason Calacanis, who is not a fan of XRP, has stated that the cryptocurrency is inherently a security. I'd rather not revisit that conflict. I put together a long movie where I sort of go into detail and provide the perspectives of many people, including attorneys. However, the thread on this subject became the focal point for a discussion of this video. So, let me simply make the following observation. John Deaton did answer, and this is off topic, but I hadn't addressed this before, and it's from there that this whole thing started. Claiming that XRP was offered by Ripple as a security is one thing, as Attorney Deaton pointed out in response to Jason Calacanis. It's a whole other thing to call XRP a security. XRP is a single instruction within a program. Just how does one sign up? To have done the proper thing and filed the paperwork to make it a security like everyone else. Quote ends. This is a direct response to what Jason just said. Deaton responds, where did ETH Cardano algo stellar lumens come from? Does etc. count? Exactly. Therefore, according to Jason, everyone else followed the rules. Excuse me, but what? Virtual currencies had absolutely no activity. Less than a single digit. Okay. Then someone with the handle Kryptonite chimed in with a comment. John, you gave Paul a free pass. This must be referring to Paul Grewal, the top lawyer at Coinbase. John, by not pressing him more on why there is a double standard with algo, you let Paul off the hook. Where is the distinction? Then, Attorney Deaton politely inquires as to the rationale behind Ripple's decision to not put XRP on Liquidity Hub. I get why people are angry, but exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, Ripple, etc. are not the bad guys. Let's take a step back and look at things objectively. Are we going to be just as upset with Ripple if they decide not to include XRP in one of their products? Which is a reasonable point to ask, given I am sure many in the community, including some of you reading this right now, are upset with Coinbase for delisting XRP. Coinbase has never made me angry. From a business standpoint, I completely agree. You can review the videos I made in what I estimate to have been late 2020, given the state of affairs at the time. Dropped off Coinbase's list. It may have been around the 28th of December in the year 2020. If not this year, then early 2021. But the main thing is that I've always had the same opinion on this. They have my sympathies. The same goes for Ripple's decision to keep XRP and Liquidity Hub off of their exchange for legal reasons. I believe doing so would hurt their case. To be honest, I can't say I blame them. They are awaiting clarification from the law. I've always held to that view, and it's clear to me now why John Deaton brought it up. Obviously, many people disagree with me, and that's totally acceptable. As I keep saying, everyone has the right to their own viewpoint. On the other hand, I can sit here and say yes even if none of that were to happen. And I completely see why John Deaton is making these observations. But, Mum, we still don't know why there is this contradiction, and that's what I've been thinking about while sitting here. And maybe, just maybe, that coin has something to do with it. Coinbase-based, rather than coin-based. I've mentioned before that they have very slender spines, but recent evidence suggests they may finally be developing some sort of sturdy framework. Or perhaps they've come to the sobering conclusion that delisting whatever the SEC considers to be a security will leave them with no business at all. Especially in light of the IPO, I can't tell if they were trying to appease or not. However, even Attorney Deaton stated, and I am interpreting here, that I think probably 90% other attorneys in a comparable situation would have advised that XRP should be delisted in an interview the other day. And I think you'd be right about it. So, once again, I am not a fan of the delisting of XRP. Not that I approve any more than you do, but I do get it. To be honest, I have no idea. It's highly unlikely that anyone will respond to me. I don't want algo to be delisted, so I'll have to learn to live with the inconsistency for the time being. But remember, the SEC is the devil, so don't lose sight of the forest for the trees. And we must respond to Kim Jong-un with force. As for me, I don't offer financial advice. Nothing I say or write should be used as a basis for making financial decisions. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.